Beyond the faint light of our sun lies a very mysterious world, hidden beyond the last planet of our solar system and even farther than the enigmatic realm of the Oort cloud. In this infinite and mysterious dark space, there exists a place that we have always dreamed of reaching. But perhaps reaching there is still a great challenge for human civilization. Alpha Centauri is our closest star system, a shining light that inspires hope in the night sky that maybe we are not alone in this universe. There is a hope about our home, wondering what will happen if one day Earth is no longer habitable. This star system will be our new home, but along with it, there is also a troubling distance. What is it that makes reaching there seem almost impossible? And if we ever manage to combine our will and technology to cross this long interstellar distance, what will we find there? A new world or another disappointment that reminds us how small we are in front of the universe? Get ready for an astonishing journey to Alpha Centauri, because here we are going to unravel many mysteries of Alpha Centauri. This journey will be amazing, will seem impossible, and will confront us with a truth that might force us to rethink our universe and our own existence. The stars do call out to us, but at the same time, they also warn us that the path to them is surrounded by darkness. Alpha Centauri, a system of mystery. Alpha Centauri is not just a single star, but a system filled with complexities and wonders. It has three main celestial bodies. Alpha Centauri A is a star that is very similar to our Sun, and it is officially known as Rigil Kentaurus. The second star in this system is Alpha Centauri B, which is also called Ptolemy, and the last one is full of mysteries, Alpha Centauri C, which is also known as Proxima Centauri. It is a red dwarf which orbits around these two at a distance of 0.2 light years. A solitary wandering star which is right at the edge of its stellar family. Proxima Centauri has a secret, a planet named Proxima b. It was discovered in 2016. This rocky exoplanet is very close to its star, at just 0.049 astronomical units away, yet it is still in Proxima Centauri's habitable zone. So can this be the second home for our human civilization? Is it possible? Or are there some conditions here that will forever keep this planet shrouded in mystery? Proxima is also our closest known exoplanet. At just 4.246 light years away, in cosmic terms, it seems really close, but being this close has its own implications. A distance of 40 trillion kilometers. This is such a vast distance that even light, which is the fastest thing in the universe, even light takes 4.3 years to cover this distance. For humans like us, who exist in this universe for just a few moments, who are bound by our slow spaceships, this challenge becomes even greater for us. Reaching Proxima b is not just a journey, it's like making a bet with the impossible. So why do we dream of Proxima b? Maybe because it's a mystery waiting to be solved. A piece of the puzzle that fits perfectly into the grand narrative of our existence. But before we set foot on this unknown land, we have to face a harsh reality. A reality that asks us questions we might be afraid to face. Abyss between stars. Just think about it for a moment. The distance to Proxima Centauri is 266,000 times greater than the distance between Earth and the Sun. It's about 103 million times greater than the distance between the Earth and the Moon. Voyager 1, which is humanity's fastest interstellar spacecraft, it would take it 75,000 years to get there. 75,000 years by then, our civilization might have turned to dust. Or maybe we will have long forgotten that we ever launched probes called Voyager. The record-breaking Parker Solar Probe travels at 700,000 kilometers per hour. Even it would take 6,500 years to complete this trip. These numbers are not just scary. They remind us that, in terms of technology, we are still at a very early stage of development. Reaching Alpha Centauri is not a simple challenge. It will be a journey that will demand breaking through and going beyond the limits of physics, engineering, and human imagination. And yet, as we look into this infinite universe, a strange question arises. Are we meant to cross it, or does the universe have some secrets that perhaps we shouldn't unlock? Like and subscribe. In 1905, Albert Einstein changed the way we understand reality with his special theory of relativity. One of the many great mysteries of this theory was a bitter but clear truth. Any object that has mass will never be able to surpass the speed of light. This is not just a suggestion. This is a cosmic rule that cannot be broken, one that is embedded forever in the fabric of space-time. When an object accelerates, its energy turns into mass. The faster it moves, the heavier it becomes. Then a time will come when it will need infinite energy to go any faster. Just think about it. If an astronaut reaches 99.9% of the speed of light, his 80-kilogram mass will increase to almost 2 tons. The closer you get to the cosmic speed limit, the greater the challenge of increasing your speed becomes. Crossing the speed of light is like trying to jump over a wall of infinite height. No force, no power can take you to the other side. Even if we reach the speed of light, the journey to Proxima Centauri would still take about 4.3 years. But this is just a best-case scenario. A dream that seems almost impossible because of vast energy requirements and the laws of physics. Reaching such speeds is not just a technological challenge, it's a battle against the very nature and principles of reality, one that is impossible for us to win. A glimmer of hope is time dilation, and yet this universe is full of paradoxes. When a spaceship travels close to the speed of light, a strange phenomenon occurs: time dilation. If a spacecraft is traveling toward Proxima Centauri at relativistic speed, time flows more slowly for its crew. For an observer on the ground, this journey may seem to last for decades or even centuries, but for the travelers inside the spacecraft, it will feel like just a few years. But time dilation is not just a subjective compression. Just imagine a spacecraft that reaches 95% of the speed of light. For an observer on Earth, the distance to Proxima Centauri is 4.246 light years. It will take about 4.47 years to reach there, but for the crew, due to time dilation, this journey will feel like only 1.39 years. The faster the spacecraft travels, the smaller this difference becomes. But if the spacecraft travels at 99.9% the speed of light, then for the crew, a 1-year journey will feel like only 2 weeks. But if the speed reaches 99.9999% of the speed of light, then a journey that would take thousands of light years would be completed by the crew in just a few decades. Or even sooner than that? This phenomenon raises a profound question. Can relativistic travel open the path to interstellar exploration? Maybe, but time dilation is not a miracle. The energy required to reach such speeds is also unimaginable, and so are the dangers, like collisions with high energy particles, lethal radiation, and the dust of interstellar matter. At such speeds, even a thin layer of interstellar gas would turn into deadly plasma. For both the spacecraft and its crew, the empty space, which once seemed calm and completely empty, would become an invisible battleground. A battlefield where no spacecraft has survived yet. Time dilation does promise to take us to distant stars, but it also brings with it deep and mysterious barriers. Time dilation is as we saw earlier, to take a mass close to the speed of light would practically require infinite energy. So far, we haven't found any propulsion system that can make this possible. And even if somehow this energy problem is solved, even then, a spaceship traveling close to the speed of light would find space to be a very dangerous place. Space is not empty, it's actually filled with countless wandering atoms, which sometimes gather in complex forms as gas and dust clouds, galaxies, stars, and planets. And sometimes they wander alone as single atoms in this infinite universe. Between two hydrogen atoms in a cubic centimeter of space, the probability of collision is a different matter, and the certainty of an enormous flow of particles colliding with the spaceship during its journey is an entirely different matter. At low speeds, the particles are harmless, but with acceleration, they rain down in the form of a dangerous shower. These can severely damage the spacecraft in the form of projectiles and highly penetrating ionizing radiation. And for the crew inside the spaceship, the atmosphere becomes extremely radioactive. Such particles, which travel at speeds very close to the speed of light, acquire so much energy that they become a threat to any form of life. At such high speeds, even passing through a very thin nebular cloud can destroy the entire spaceship. Social and temporal disconnection, a lonely future. Even if we overcome all the technical challenges, there will still be one impossible problem left. Time dilation will have a devastating effect on the relationship between the spaceship and the home planet. For the crew aboard the relativistic ship, time will slow down significantly. But on Earth, the clock will keep ticking at its usual pace. The time that will feel like just 11 years for the crew, that will turn into millions or even billions of years for the people left on Earth. This harsh truth presents us with an existential dilemma. Astronauts who embark on such a journey will have to leave their world, family, friends, and even their culture behind forever, and when they return, Earth will have completely changed for them, or perhaps may not even be habitable anymore. The society they once left behind will have been lost in the sands of time. It will have either transformed into some alien form or disappeared completely. The spaceship will no longer be a means of exploration, but will become their own small world, drifting alone through time and space. The effects of such temporal isolation can also be seen in the idea of the fictional United Federation of Planets like in Star Trek. The cultural and technological synchronization necessary for trade and cooperation will break down. Would a commercial enterprise have the motivation to send cargo on a journey where there would never be any connection with the sender again? Such a journey would not be a deal, but rather cargo that has neither an owner nor a destination. According to the rules of Einsteinian relativity, any spaceship embarking on such a journey would actually become a self-sustained world, completely different from its origin, wandering away from its purpose. So, would this sacrifice be worth it? This sad conclusion aligns well with Enrico Fermi's famous paradox. If advanced civilizations exist, then why haven't we encountered them yet? Maybe the answer isn't that they don't exist at all. Rather, it lies in the cruel barriers imposed by the laws of this universe. Time dilation presents us with a harsh reality even if we manage to cross these barriers. For the crew of a relativistic spaceship, time on their planet will continue to pass at its usual pace. Generations will pass, civilizations will rise and fall by the time the crew returns. Their world will have completely changed for them, or perhaps it will have completely disappeared. What would be the purpose of that journey? A mission to Alpha Centauri is not just about crossing physical space. It will break those bonds of time and memories that connect us to humanity, that make us human. The two Fermi paradoxes, the stark reminder, this conclusion leads us to a frightening and profound question, the one Enrico Fermi once asked. If advanced civilizations exist, then why haven't we encountered them yet? Perhaps the answer lies hidden in the very limitations that we ourselves face. The distances between the stars are not just measurements of space, they are like the strong walls of a fortress of isolation. These are some barriers created by nature that hardly anyone would even try to break. These barriers probably confine every civilization to its own celestial backyard, where dreams of interstellar expansion burn like a dying flame and eventually go out. Alpha Centauri, despite being close to us, remains just a dream. Is it only for those who are very brave and willing to give up everything for their world? This fact, which shows the non-existence of visitors, is a sign of the defeat of those civilizations. Or maybe it's an even deeper warning that we are truly alone in this infinite darkness. A New Hope, robotic explorers and light sails. But we know that where humans can't succeed, maybe machines can. The future of interstellar exploration might be in the hands of robotic probes, miniaturized marvels capable of traveling at fractions of the speed of light. Concepts like von Neumann probes, which can self-replicate and colonize, could spread the essence of humanity to the stars. Or perhaps laser sails that will be driven by a focused light beam. By accelerating lightweight probes, they can be brought up to 20% of the speed of light. And with this, Alpha Centauri can be reached in just 21 years. These solutions are not part of science fiction, but are actually very close to our reality. This journey still won't be easy and the obstacles are huge, but humanity has never backed down from doing the impossible. Will these machines one day send us secrets that we never even imagined? Conclusion: the eternal mystery. Alpha Centauri has always been a puzzle, a mystery at the edge of human reach. It inspires us to explore new worlds, but at the same time, it reminds us of our limitations, whether we reach there in a century, a millennium, or perhaps never at all. The dream of Alpha Centauri will always inspire humanity to look up at the sky, to ask questions, and to move forward. Ultimately, the journey to the stars is about more than exploration. It's about facing an infinite and unknown universe and trying to find meaning in it. Are we meant to remain strangers here, or maybe one day we'll become one with these stars? Whatever happens, this mystery will remain. Mars has always been a story of fascination, fear, and wonder for humanity. From ancient myths to modern science and fiction, the Red Planet has always shaped our imaginations, a frontier of exploration, and perhaps even a dream of creating a new world for us humans. Recent space technology advancements, along with ambitious plans from space agencies like SpaceX and National Aeronautics and Space Administration, the idea of colonizing Mars now seems much more like a real possibility than just a beautiful dream. But would colonizing Mars be a smart move for humanity, or is it one of those dumb ideas that we shouldn't pursue? The prospect of becoming a multi-planetary species definitely excites us. But there are several reasons that raise the question of whether Mars is the best choice for human colonization. The planet's hostile environment, lack of resources, and the immense cost and risk make the challenge of settling on Mars quite significant. In this video, we will explore why colonizing Mars may not be as brilliant an idea as we think. We will discuss in detail the scientific, ethical, and practical challenges involved in building a human colony on the red planet. And we will try to understand whether it would be better to focus our efforts on Earth itself or on Mars. Let's embark on this mysterious journey to Mars, where we will critically evaluate the dream of Mars colonization and find out whether humanity's future is on the right path. Mars' hostile environment, the first reason that obviously makes the idea of colonizing Mars a bad idea, is this planet's incredibly hostile environment. Mars may look a bit like Earth in photos, but the reality is that the world of Mars is extremely dangerous, which presents major challenges for human survival. Mars is a cold planet where the average surface temperature stays around minus 62 degrees Celsius. Maintaining a habitable environment for humans in such extreme temperatures will be very difficult. In this cold world, we will need a lot of energy to keep our habitats warm and to protect our equipment from freezing. Apart from this, compared to Earth, Mars has a very thin atmosphere which is mostly made up of carbon dioxide. Traces of oxygen and nitrogen are present in very small amounts, and Mars's atmospheric pressure is less than 1% of Earth's. This will make the conditions here even more challenging. It's the foundation of our life, but there's a severe shortage of liquid water on Mars. Most of Mars' water is in the form of ice or it's mixed with the soil there. Extracting this water will be a big challenge in itself, which will require advanced technology and a lot of energy. Without a reliable water source, sustaining a human colony would be almost impossible. Even if we are able to meet the energy needs of the Mars colony, still, the challenges of living on Mars are not over. Mars has neither a global magnetic field nor a thick atmosphere, which would protect our people there from cosmic radiation and solar particles. This radiation will create a serious health issue for humans. The risk of cancer will increase among the colonists, and it can damage their tissues, even cause neurological effects, and even make serious changes in their DNA. To protect the settlers from radiation, habitats will have to be built underground or covered with thick layers of regolith, which makes building a colony on Mars even more difficult and expensive. So in such conditions, we will have to survive on Mars. Living on Mars will bring a new challenge for humans every day. So far, we've only talked about the conditions on Mars, but even worse are the terrifying natural disasters that can occur there. Mars is known for its massive dust storms, which can cover the entire planet. These can last for weeks or even months. These storms can even block sunlight from reaching Mars. Because of this, the effectiveness of solar panels decreases and power generation becomes difficult. The fine dust carried by these storms can get into our equipment and habitats, causing mechanical problems. And for humans, it can also create problems like difficulty in breathing. Considering these challenges, it's clear that Mars is far from being an ideal environment for humans to live in. The planet's extreme conditions make living here quite difficult and dangerous. And to deal with these, we would need such advanced technology and resource investment, which doesn't seem realistic in the near future. Apart from environmental challenges, the idea of colonizing Mars also brings immense cost and risk which need to be considered carefully. Establishing human presence on the red planet demands a massive investment. In terms of resources, time and money, and there is no guarantee of success. Sending humans to Mars and building a self-sustaining colony will be one of the most expensive endeavors in human history. For a crewed mission, estimates are that the cost will range from tens of billions to hundreds of billions of dollars. It will also depend on the scale and scope of the mission, but building a colony there will require even more funding, as well as the development of new technologies and infrastructure. This cost will mostly be covered by governments, private companies, or through a collaboration between both. But here on our Earth, we also have several serious issues such as climate change, poverty, and healthcare. Some people argue that these funds could be better used to solve these problems. Investing in Mars colonization will divert resources from places where they are needed, which somewhere forces us to think, would this even be fair to us Earthlings? Building a colony on Mars will also demand the development of advanced technologies, which either do not exist yet or we are still in the very initial phase of them. Technical hurdles like life support systems, radiation shielding, sustainable agriculture, and waste management are quite significant, and without thinking about them, we can't move even a single step forward. It may take years or even decades to develop these technologies, and even then, there is no guarantee of success. There are logistical as well as technological challenges. Transporting equipment, supplies, and people to Mars won't be possible without multiple launches and a robust supply chain, each of which requires significant expenses. Living on Mars is still a distant dream, but even reaching Mars will present us with many difficulties. The journey to Mars, or even living on this planet, will put astronauts' health at risk. The trip to Mars will take 6 to 9 months, during which astronauts will be directly exposed to microgravity and cosmic radiation. Staying in microgravity for such a long time can cause muscle loss, bone loss, and other health issues. Meanwhile, radiation exposure will increase the risk of cancer. Even after landing on Mars, astronauts will have to face radiation, extreme temperatures, loneliness, and the psychological challenges of staying in one place for a long time. Due to the lack of medical facilities and the difficulty of returning to Earth in an emergency, these risks become even more serious. There are several ethical concerns associated with the idea of Mars colonization. One major concern is the impact of human settlements on the Martian environment, as Mars is currently barren, where we have not yet found any signs of life. But along with humans, other organisms like bacteria will also reach Mars. For one, we don't know how these might mutate in the Martian environment and what kind of threat they could pose to us. And besides this, they will also contaminate the Martian environment, which could cause major problems in our future scientific research. Also, sending humans to such a planet where there is no guarantee of survival raises an ethical question as well. Some people argue that sending people into such a dangerous and uncertain environment would be irresponsible. Humans may begin exploiting Mars's resources once they arrive. Are all these sacrifices justified? One of the biggest fundamental criticisms of Mars colonization is the lack of a clear and compelling purpose. Although the idea of becoming a multiplanetary species seems appealing, it's unclear what the practical benefit of Mars colonization would be. Compared to Earth, Mars doesn't have those resources and conditions that could support a large-scale human civilization for a long time. And there's no point in establishing a permanent presence in such a place. Some people say that the primary motive for Mars colonization is just symbolic. The desire to prove that human civilization can achieve something big and ambitious. But without a clear and feasible goal, it's very difficult to justify the immense cost and risk of this endeavor. Considering these factors, it's important to think about whether our efforts and resources could be used better elsewhere. Instead of focusing on Mars colonization, we could invest in addressing Earth's challenges, or in space exploration, other settlements, or exploring feasible options. Alternative options for space exploration. Despite so many drawbacks of Mars colonization, we still have several alternatives for space exploration and settlements, which are more feasible in the near future and also provide us with immediate benefits. A promising alternative to Mars colonization is establishing human presence on our moon. The moon is quite close to our Earth, which makes reaching it easy and cost-effective. A trip to the moon takes only a few days, while reaching Mars takes us 6 to 9 months. Because it's so close, supplying and supporting a lunar colony becomes much easier, and many of the risks associated with long-duration space travel are also greatly reduced. The moon also offers us valuable resources like water ice, which can be used for drinking water, oxygen, and making rocket fuel. A lunar colony could serve as a stepping stone for exploring Mars and other planets in the future. Another alternative is to make space stations habitable, either in Earth's orbit or in other places in the solar system, such as Lagrange points. These space stations could be a good platform for scientific research, manufacturing, and tourism. And besides this, they can also serve as a base for Moon, Mars, and space exploration. If you look at it, space stations have a lot more advantages over planetary colonies. They can be located in environments where temperatures are stable and constant sunlight is available, which is essential for solar power generation and energy needs. They can also be easily resupplied and maintained, which reduces many of the risks associated with long-duration space missions. Instead of colonizing planets, we can also focus on mining asteroids to extract valuable resources. Many asteroids are rich in metals and minerals like iron, nickel, platinum, and gold, which can be used for manufacturing and construction. Asteroid mining can provide a sustainable source of raw materials for space exploration and can also reduce reliance on Earth-based resources. This can help prevent deforestation and other forms of exploitation on Earth. Asteroid mining can help develop essential technologies and infrastructure for future space colonization, such as in-situ resource utilization and advanced propulsion systems. Finally, some people believe that our efforts and resources could be used to tackle Earth's challenges instead of the Mars colonization project. So this can also make Earth better. There are many issues that need attention, from climate change and the environment to poverty and inequality. By focusing on the Earth, we can build a better society which will be beneficial for all of humanity. Investing in renewable energy, conservation, and social programs can be more impactful for the well-being of our planet and its inhabitants than colonizing Mars. In conclusion, the idea of colonizing Mars has captured the imagination of many people, but it's important that we take a step back and first critically evaluate whether this is the right path for humanity. Obstacles like Mars's extreme temperatures, thin atmosphere, lack of liquid water, and radiation exposure make it very difficult and challenging to build a sustainable colony there. Apart from this, there are also ethical concerns about the impact of human settlements on Mars's environment and the potential exploitation of its resources. We should focus on Earth rather than Mars. Besides, there are many ways to advance our understanding of space and the universe that are possible without the immense cost and risk of Mars colonization. It depends on us what we choose for the future of our humanity and our planet. Space exploration has always tested the limits of human civilization, as National Aeronautics and Space Administration is preparing to land astronauts on the moon under its Artemis program. But along with this, the dangers present on the moon will become a reality for us with this mission. Imagine that an astronaut has gone on an expedition in a remote area near the moon's south pole. But then a major incident happens. That astronaut goes deep into one of the craters at the moon's south pole, which is always covered in darkness. where no radio signal can ever reach, and the temperature drops below minus 173 degrees Celsius. After this incident, all communication with that expedition and the astronaut is lost. In temperatures below minus 173 degrees Celsius and with limited oxygen, that astronaut is now fighting a battle between life and death. A very dangerous and remote area on the moon, where nothing can be seen for miles, no global positioning system, no radio connection. Besides that, the most dangerous thing is that he can't call anyone nearby for help, nor can he shout for assistance, because there will be no one there to hear him. Although astronauts are experts at dealing with such situations, they are trained specifically to handle these kinds of circumstances. But the conditions on the moon are not found anywhere else. Where blackout sleep is common, the area is completely filled with deep craters and large rocks, which makes any rescue operation for that astronaut very challenging. Whereas on Earth, we can organize any rescue operation within hours. But on the moon, any such rescue operation would take much longer. Every second we'll face a new danger. In the harsh environment of space, in the vacuum of the moon, any equipment can malfunction, the navigation system can give us errors, and all these instrument failures can prove fatal for those living on the moon base and for the astronauts. So to deal with all these problems, the new lunar de-stress system is going to come in handy here. A team of researchers from University of South Africa, that is, the University of South Africa, has developed this. This could prove to be a boon for astronauts going to the moon. It has been designed keeping in mind the moon's unique conditions. This system ensures that our astronauts on the moon, no matter what the circumstances are or if they are working in any remote area, they can send a distress signal to their base where someone will be present to help them. And this groundbreaking technology can save many lives in the future. This technology is going to be the future of space exploration because it's not limited to just the moon. It will be used everywhere in the future. So in today's video, we will explore some unknown dangers of lunar exploration that really make National Aeronautics and Space Administration think twice. And how will the rescue system work on the moon outside our Earth, and how can it help us here on Earth? So fasten your seatbelts because this exciting journey is about to begin. Dangers of lunar exploration. Exploring the moon and colonizing it sounds very science fictional and extremely exciting, but it's one of the most dangerous environments where humans would ever want to live. The moon has no atmosphere. This simply means that there is no air to breathe there, and there is no weather either. And there is also no protection there that can save us from the deadly radiation coming from the sun and space. During the day on the moon, the surface temperature reaches up to 127 degrees Celsius, and at night, this temperature drops below minus 173 degrees Celsius. And in such a place where there is such a huge shift in temperature without any shelter or proper equipment, this shift can kill humans within minutes. The south pole of the moon, where National Aeronautics and Space Administration is preparing to send its future missions, is even more dangerous. That area is filled with craters submerged in permanent darkness, which are miles wide. Sunlight never reaches these dark areas. Because of this, some of these craters are so cold that they are among the coldest places in our solar system. And if astronauts go on an expedition to these areas, they will have to rely completely on their equipment. And if there is even a small mistake here, the consequences can be fatal. Another major risk comes in communication. Radio signals can't fully cover the moon because of its rough and uneven surface in the remote areas. If an astronaut goes into a deep crater or gets stuck in such an area where radio signals can't reach, he won't be able to contact mission control or the nearby colonized areas. The harsh environment of the moon and that loneliness will be such that calling for help will become impossible for him. In such survival situations, time will be everything. Every second without communication will be continuously reducing his chances of survival. There are also mechanical risks such as the spacesuit, rover, and life support system. All these things are designed to operate in the harsh environment of the moon, but they are not completely foolproof. And if even a single equipment failure happens, like a crack in the helmet visor, a malfunction in the oxygen tank, or you could say the rover dying, it would put the astronauts in a situation where there would be no way out and there would be no one there for them. In the vacuum of space, unlike in a game, there is no second chance. During the Apollo missions, the astronauts were fully aware of these dangers, but those missions were only for a few days. But National Aeronautics and Space Administration's Artemis mission, in which astronauts may have to stay on the moon for a few weeks or even a few months. And the longer they stay on the moon, the higher the chances that they might get stuck in such a situation or that something might go wrong with them. And that's where a reliable rescue and communication system becomes extremely important for the colony that will be built on the moon. Without this, we can't even think about exploring the moon for a long time. There are some unknown factors that we often don't consider, and there must be some similar factors present on the moon as well, which can ruin our planning at any moment. Our astronauts can get into big trouble at any time. And at that time, the loss we suffer could prove to be the biggest setback for the entire space industry and space exploration. And that's why we really need new alarming systems like the Lunar Distress System. The new Lunar Distress System is a technological breakthrough for us, which has been designed keeping in mind some unique challenges that arise during space exploration. Although it is based on the existing COSPASSARSAT system, which is a satellite-based rescue network, which we often use on Earth, but many changes have been made to adapt it to the extreme environment of the moon. There is no on-ground infrastructure or global positioning system on the moon, and there are no such towers from which we can transfer signals. So this new lunar distress system will be completely based on a constellation of satellites, which will be orbiting the moon. That means a lot of satellites will be orbiting the moon, and they will be keeping a sharp eye on every corner of the moon. And that network of satellites will be the foundation of our distress system. How does it work? Let's say an astronaut is stuck in a dangerous place on the moon. So he will activate a low-power emergency beacon through this system, which will be installed in his equipment. This beacon will be a device. It will send a signal directly to those satellites that will be orbiting the moon, and then from there, those satellites will forward that signal. It will deliver it to mission control on Earth or any nearby lunar base. This means that if any astronaut is really in trouble, someone will immediately find out about it. Beacon technology is a key innovation in this entire system. Dr. Mark Rice is the lead researcher at the University of South Africa and also the founder of Safety from Space. He explains that the beacon can handle transmissions for up to 10 hours even under low power conditions. And this becomes extremely important for those astronauts who are going very far from their base for some work or exploration. And they have limited battery life. Their team developed it. Before technology, it ensures that communication with astronauts remains stable and energy efficient, which is very important for survival in space. Another feature of this system is real-time tracking. The satellite network continuously monitors the astronauts' location, allowing mission control to track their movements, even in conditions where they lose contact with the base or ground control. And this capability becomes especially important when an astronaut gets stuck behind a very high mountain or in a deep crater. In such emergency conditions, if we know the astronaut's exact location, it saves us valuable time in locating and tracking them, and we can focus all our attention on quickly carrying out the rescue operation. This system is also designed to work automatically, meaning it doesn't require constant human supervision. Every second is very precious in an emergency, and thanks to its automated response system, astronauts can focus entirely on their own survival. Because they will know that, thanks to this system, ground control or the lunar base will be informed. Their information will have reached, and some help will definitely be on the way to rescue them. This technology is not just a safety measure, it could prove to be a game changer for space exploration. By providing continuous communication and location tracking, it gives astronauts the opportunity to explore farther. This assures astronauts that if they go on a dangerous mission on the moon, they won't be alone. If anything goes wrong during the mission, help will be available to them immediately. Applications beyond the moon. The most exciting aspect of this rescue system is that it won't just be used on the moon, but we'll be able to use it beyond the moon as well. Just like Manav, Sabita, Mars, and other deep space destinations are being prepared for missions. The demand for communication and rescue technology is rising just as quickly. The challenges we face on the moon, such as communication, blackouts, and long response times, will become even more daunting on Mars. Imagine if an astronaut gets stuck in a serious situation on Mars. So, it would take more than 20 minutes for a distress call to reach Earth from there. And in such emergency situations, every single minute becomes extremely critical. And just this small difference in time will become the distance between life and death there. But with the use of this new system, if any astronaut gets into trouble, the beacon technology will immediately send this information to ground control on Earth. Meanwhile, the information will also reach the Mars base, so that they can quickly make a rescue plan to help that astronaut. A team of researchers from the University of South Africa has developed a version of this technology to be used on Earth as well, which is called Beagle. This technology can be very useful here on Earth in remote or hazardous environments or in search and rescue efforts. For example, from stranded Himalayan mountaineers to first responders in disaster zones. Beagle provides low-power communication even if other conventional networks fail there. But this technology is so reliable that it will keep working even in the worst conditions. Beagle's two-way communication feature makes it even more useful, unlike traditional Save Our Soul systems that only send a signal. Beagle also allows people to communicate with the rescuers so they can update others about their situation. This real-time information can greatly help rescuers in planning and executing their operations. This also saves time and reduces the loss of life and property. Here we see a similarity between space and Earth-based applications in how space technology can prove beneficial for humanity. Whether it's about saving astronauts on the moon or rescuing people trapped in serious situations on Earth. Beagle technology ensures that anyone using this technology never goes out of reach in any way. Their communication remains intact in any situation. In conclusion, this new lunar distress system is a big step for the safety of astronauts as we prepare for long-term missions to the moon, Mars, and beyond. But for this, it becomes very important for us to have a reliable communication and rescue system. Space exploration is full of many unknown and mysterious dangers, and without such innovations, the risks become much higher. And when it comes to human life, we can't take chances. But this technology's impact goes beyond space. Beagle can bring a revolution in search and rescue operations here on Earth as well, and this shows us the capability of this new system. This shows how the innovations happening through space exploration are making a difference in our daily lives and our everyday routines. How things are getting even better, whether it's the moon or the remote areas of Earth. This technology ensures that if someone is stuck in a bad situation or in an emergency, they can always contact someone. And on Earth, this technology can be very useful for marine sailors. We often hear that due to lack of help, many accidents happen at sea, and this technology is nothing less than a blessing there. Just like National Aeronautics and Space Administration is advancing the Artemis program, our dream of exploring a new world is also about to come true. But exploration is only possible when it is safe. Many thanks to the researchers at the University of South Africa for their commendable work. Now, whether astronauts are on the moon, on Mars, or in any unknown place, they can go there with full confidence, even knowing that there is danger there. But they also know that they have a lifeline. There is a trust that if they get into any trouble, the people behind them will come to save them. Friends, if you're excited about the future of space exploration, what is your opinion about this technology? Will this technology really completely change space exploration and rescue efforts on Earth? Do let us know your opinion in the comment section below. How did you like this video? If you like this video, please make sure to like it and share it with your friends. For more such informative videos, make sure to subscribe to the channel and enable the bell notification. Friends, we'll meet again soon with another new informative video like this. Till then, stay curious, be happy, and goodbye.